let me jump in right away to today's webinar. You'll not be surprised that it's related to AI, Copilot, and how the AI vision, impact the product fruits and what vision we have here in the product fruits with AI. So, over the past 2 years, I believe that AI was like a massive topic, right? AI is just everywhere, to be honest. AI is just like some people say it's like electricity, it's like internet. It's just a constant buzzword or topic which we hear in every day, right? And I believe that some of you and most of you here on this call, you already used AI or ChatGPT today, right? I hope you did, and I believe you did, and some of you just maybe fear to admit it. But I believe that all of us did, and that's the signal that the AI is really not just a buzzword. Even if the AI, I believe that 95% cases for AI are actually maybe a little bit of a marketing stunt, and maybe only 5 to 2% have actual value. That's how it is. Our company, Product Fruits, also I believe your companies, everybody trying to discover what the AI means and how it changes and transforms their business. And we figured out over the past year that it's quite radical change. AI is just doesn't changing the way just one thing. It's just impacting whole workflows, whole business models, right? So it's quite a massive change. So it cannot be taken lightly, and that's the reason why we basically create focus group in our small team last year to make sure that we have dedicated teams across our company which are dedicated to the AI and addressing those topics. So the AI in our product through digital adoption platform is basically going through all of our platform like a silver lining, right? It's touching the onboarding, the guiding, the learning, every product you can imagine. And to address that over the past year, we basically released kind of bunch and quite a lot of the products which are somehow related to AI, either as a feature or separate product. We just wanted to make sure that we introduce something, again, which is not just marketing stunt, it's useful for you and you actually want to use it. And, there is a path to that, but from our data, we see that basically 70% of the new created products are through AI, through the AI template, which we have for basically most of our products. One of the mentions which you can see here on the slide is, for example, AI generated tours, right? It's just how you generate the onboarding, how you generate the guide. It's just click through application and it magically appears a tour, right? It's not perfect. AI is not here, I believe, to replace you yet, or generally it will take some years, but it's here to make you more efficient. It's here to help you more iterate, to brainstorm, to give you ideas, to get you started quicker, right? So even if, for example, those tours, AI generated tours which you introduced, they're not perfect. You cannot just generate a tour and click a button and publish it. But it can give you started quicker, expand your mind. You can choose to edit it, quicker iteration. And that's kind of the silver lining of our product. That's the same with the pop-ups for the banners, how we thought about basically generally those AI products, just to give you those efficiency boost, I would say. And a lot of them are, our most recent one is AI powered search. This is basically this one here, which your end users can use through the live ring button to get immediate summary of their questions. So they don't have to just, go to your support, but they can just help themselves and just ask question, get direct answer based on the data which you have in your knowledge base or in your data sources. So we launched it most recently, very good and positive feedback. Nothing is perfect, but what we see that you really like to use it. And then there are even cases when 90% of the questions which your users have are resolved just by this, which I believe is just pointing to the right direction. Now, there will be more. And I believe that most of you which are here on this call, read the title AI Copilot. It's actually the latest addition to our product, AI-driven product roadmap. And it's actually one of the most asked features, most asked feature which you asked for, right? It's what is Copilot for those who might not know yet? The Copilot is basically concept of the AI powered chat, let's say. So basically your end users just ask a question, get the answer from the AI powered, application, and just then can chat again and interact again. And this is kind of back and forth conversation, a little bit similar to, for example, ChatGPT. So it's not so different in matter of the concept. You know, why we believe, this is next edition is that we see that, AI is already on a level when, first line of, for example, first line of a tech support can be already handled by this artificial intelligence. It's already on that level, which it can help your, for example, tech support to get rid of those basic questions from your users, right? So your users don't have to go to the human level support if their question is, not so complex. So that's enables you to, if you have your human level support, to keep it for the more, let's say, intriguing tasks or demo-like experiences, something which really, human touch matters and which AI still cannot help that much. So this, I believe that the Copilot product it's quite useful. It can help you to scale up the support. It's 24/7 there. It can answer your users to, in different languages, in many different languages. It's consistent, accurate. Of course, accuracy is not 100%. The LLM models are still, hallucinated a little bit, but we try to fine tune it in a way that the hallucinations on minimum level. So it just really answers on the questions which you have in your information databases and sources. And, there's a seamless human handoff because I don't believe that right approach is here's AI and, it solves absolutely everything for you in a support level. And sometimes you just need a human to interact and have your end users might need a feeling, okay, there's just a human right around the corner who I can speak with, right? So what we saw from Ely numbers from the very close pilot and Ely pilot, we see that around 66% of the support questions can be resolved right away. Those are those which are not like tremendously intriguing, but I believe even this number is interesting enough to consider this product and to try it at least, right? And I'm really excited about this one. We worked on it quite hard, so why we will not just jump into the live demo, right? Like, what can go wrong? Because everybody likes live demos, and nothing can go wrong. So bear with me. I'll just go to our sandbox environment and show you how the Copilot is manifested and looks in our product, right? So this is our demo application, but here on the corner right there, there is the live ring button. I believe that if you're our user already, you know that the live ring button is, the 24/7 support right there. This element is always in your application. It's highly configurable, and we added the Copilot actually here. So in the chat, when the user clicks on it, there is it, right? It's chat. It's always there waiting for your end user for the questions they have. And we can try it with a favorite question, like how tour is different compared to hints, right? Let's see, fingers crossed. This is live demo. But now, yeah, you can see that it already like giving the answer, how the tours and hints are different. Because yeah, a lot of our users just love tours, but hints are actually extremely powerful. So don't forget that. And yeah, I can follow up with that. That's what's different in the Copilot. Did I say, okay, but now let's say, can you give me very specific examples in which hints are better? Right, so let's see. Yeah, so there are like some examples. Let's try more. This is not the perfect one. Yes, this is not the best as I was hoped for actually, but we can try once more with the new question. So we can start a new chat here as well. And you can, for example, ask like, what are the surveys what are the surveys? Yeah, okay. Or I can even change, I can even ask, how can I install the product fruits. Yeah, so as you can see, you can just follow up in a question or you can just change the topic. It depends on you. What's important to that is that it doesn't give you just an answer, but users can also like, upvote or downvote. So they can say, okay, this is not good answer enough. Nice. And submit the answer. They can also show the resources which were used to generate this response. Okay, so even if the user says, yeah, this response is not perfect, I need to learn more a little bit, they can do that. They can just click on those show resources and they can see from which articles in your knowledge base or external articles actually this response was generated. So I can just click here and I can see actually our knowledge base article related to this topic basically, right? Which is related to the surveys. And of course I can go back. So I can then continue in conversation or I can check the different resources if I feel this will be more helpful for me. And as you can see, the user doesn't leave your application. The user doesn't leave the live ring button. The user is still here. It doesn't go anywhere. So it's right there for the user to help. As you can see here, user can also like rate the whole conversation here, like that helped, or can talk to live support if you have connected applications like Crisp or Intercom, etc., which we support. And users can, as I showed, start a new chat, see the history of the chats, of course, they'll keep for like 30 days, and they can expand the chat for a little bit more convenience. And that's basically how the chat kind of works. It's going like back and forth for different topics. Again, we fine tune it the way that it takes just the information from the sources which you let it to take the information. Okay, so it's not making up things. So this is not ChatGPT. It doesn't have like general world knowledge. It's specifically fine-tuned that it should just search your knowledge base and the information which you provided to make sure it's not making stuff up. So how you configure it and how you get this, like this is actually no code approach again. So it's very simple actually. So you don't have to do basically anything once it's launched. So we will be launching this in a closed pilot during upcoming 2 weeks. And then the full launch is planned for the March and April. So it will be, out soon. But how you configure it when it's out, you just go to our administration. Then you go to the help, to the AI Copilot section, and you can see that there are sources. And here you can just basically add sources which are, then used by the Copilot to generate the responses. Like first one is always our knowledge base. So if you're already using our knowledge base, that's advantage. It's synchronized almost immediately. And of course you can turn it on and off. And then you can add your additional resources, basically to train the AI on. So as you can see, you can basically edit it. You can synchronize it manually as well. So if you have a lot of edits, you can up to 3 times a day manually synchronize it. Otherwise, it's synchronized every day. You can edit it, of course. So you can change the parameters of this external resource. You can change the synchronization type. You can even define very small fine-tuning rules to make sure that you synchronize only part of the web or source you really want. And you can also, of course, do it even on level of individual pages. So even on level of individual pages, you can basically include or exclude a given page, and then the Copilot doesn't use that page, right? And you can also use the training mode, which means that the AI will train on it, the Copilot, but will not show the article to the end user, right? So it's kind of like hidden knowledge to it. And that's basically you don't need to install anything. That's just you enable your live ring button, and that's kind of it. And you can add real resources here as you will and as you wish. Then you can configure even more in the live ring button here. When you go to the tabs configuration, you can go to the chat and AI Copilot, and then you can in this switch just see and enable the behavior you want for the Copilot. So if the Copilot should do handover to the human, if not, if it should be just Copilot, or if you have just third-party application and you don't want to use Copilot, of course you can do it. So that's kind of like the basic configuration and information about the Copilot here. Of course, this is like early access page. You have here, for example, even the preview. So here you can even like preview how the Copilot responded. So tell me more about with tours and hints. Again, so this is just a preview for you. So even before you launch it to your users, you can just fine tune it here, and that's basically the Copilot here. As I mentioned, I will start rolling out the Ely pilot very soon in upcoming 2 weeks. You can definitely join. You can just reply on the email which we'll be sending after the webinar. And now I believe it's a time for me to pass a little bit. Maybe just one more thing before I pass is that what you see so far, I believe, was a little bit, reactive. So the user needs to ask question and the Copilot answers, right? But what we believe that we can push it a little bit further, right? We can push it a little bit more. What if actually Copilot could do something for you, right? So this is right now just intention. What you saw is like, okay, I ask question, I'll get answer. But what the Copilot actually can do something. And that's the reason why we will also in upcoming 2 weeks launching something which is a little bit different and which we're testing, and it would be just for you, just for the Ely access for selected clients. And that's the Copilot for surveys. Okay, so and what does it is just, it's kind of Copilot integrated directly to the surveys, but this Copilot is a little bit different. It can also create and adjust for you and edit. So you can ask this Copilot, okay, create this survey, change color of that survey to orange, remove step 2 and 3, even adjust text, bold of the text, etc. So it can even edit. So this is just for you. It won't be launched yet for your end users because we want to validate those concepts and get your feedback on it. But I think that this is again next iteration of what we can do with AI and the Copilot is just help you to do the annoying tasks, because if you imagine you have 15 steps long tour or anything or survey, it's annoying to change even color or even text on every card, right? So it can help you to brainstorm and even do the changes. You can of course revert the changes, etc. So the motto here is let the AI work with you and for you, right? So it's not just chatting but also doing something. So I believe that for me right now it's a time to pause, and I'll ask Dana if there's some questions which you're asking. Please use the chat window in the Teams so we always can collect your feedback and how you think about it, if you like it, if you don't, any questions. So Dana, can you just tell me, are there any topics or any questions?
Hello, Martin. Hello, everyone. Yes, definitely. We have a large number of questions, Martin, but
That's
due
great.
to time constraints, I will just select a few. For example, the most rated ones. For many questions, you already delivered, I guess, the answer, but very quickly, can the AI copilot connect to our help center to formulate proper answers? This is actually related to external resources.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so regarding the external resources, I know there was a big ask during our testing and forming this product. Of course, yes. So there will be possibility to connect to the external resources at the first phase in the pilot. Those should be resources which are accessible on the website, and in the next stage, we will be adding very soon also possibility to connect to it via tokens, like if I would Copilot with actually sign up to your internal knowledge base behind the sign up. It will be possible, not in the exactly first phase, but very soon after. But right now you can put there, for example, blog posts or any public page which we can access and index it even without logging in. So we're working on it. It will have to be there. It's there.
Right. A part of internal and external resources, there is another question. Are we able to replace Intercom with product for chat and knowledge?
I believe that this is very interesting question. It can have very specifics for given clients because it depends what you look into the features, which features you need to have. So I believe that our knowledge base, internal knowledge base, is quite extensive in matter how you can format articles, how we can work with them, how you can publish them. So it depends on individual cases. I believe that our knowledge base is quite rigid, so we definitely can host hundreds of articles, even more. And the Copilot, which you saw, it can go through them within minutes. Okay, so if you update something, it will be very quickly reflected, no matter if you have hundreds or even thousand articles. So in that sense, yes, but it will have to be particular what individual features can be are requested. But I believe we can build tremendously like complex knowledge bases with us. Like users are using us quite happy with knowledge base. And this is, the Copilot does actually elaborate on that. So I believe that Copilot's given even more use cases and more value to our knowledge base, because right now you can think it not just like a wiki page, our knowledge base, but it's actually something like knowledge source for your Copilot. So as you put in more articles, actually just users can interact with Copilot to get the benefit. So
Another question, Martin. What about the external knowledge base or the knowledge base that requires authentication from the user, sort of like login, password, or SSO? It's
yeah.
going to be compatible or not?
Yes, it will, but not in those like 2 weeks. So in the initial phase, no, not yet. We're working on it, but yeah, it will be. So we definitely will have that.
Another important, can we see the chats from users to understand if there were questions that couldn't be properly solved, for example?
Yes, that's correct. So thank you for that question. I believe I omitted a little bit in the demo, but as you saw those thumbs up, thumbs down, and also that helped, it will be in the dashboard. So you will see there which questions were mostly asked and those which have least, which are thumbs down a lot, or what the comment is. And also what you will see, the articles which were tied to that request. So you can also fine tune the articles which went to that answer. And also what you will be able to see, once the answer, the Copilot has capability to evaluate itself and give a score of certainty. And we will be surfacing for you the conversations where the Copilot was not certain enough, right? That requires certain fine tuning, but you will have it as well. So you'll see where the Copilot was not certain that much about those answers, and we'll surface those for you. So I believe then you can, pinpoint where the problem and challenges are, when you need to improve. So it's like flywheel of continuous improvement there. So it will be there, yes.
And what about actually the content in the knowledge base? If guys put a knowledge base article in a training mode and they will hide it, they will not show it publicly, will be our AI Copilot available, like able to actually take the data out of that?
Yes. Yes. So the training mode works the way that it works exactly the same as you saw. So Copilot will learn from it automatically. Even those daily updates still will happen. Just the end user will not see in this drop down, resources will not be able to click it and see it there. That's everything what's different. Otherwise, yes, it will be trained based on it.
Very important one. The next one, Martin. Thank you. Are there is it any analytic behind the Copilot? And for example, if the guys are going to see the most popular questions, how many users had their answers, etc.
Yes, definitely. And it will be very similar to AI search results. So I believe I answered it a little bit in previous questions, is that you will see the most common search terms, their upvotes, downvotes, if the conversation helped users, how many users, which articles went to it. So you'll go really deeper to the level of article which you need to improve the most. That's the goal. It's okay, users asking very often this kind of topic, and we see that they're not happy with it, or that the Copilot was not certain about it. So we need to update those 3 articles. So it will be there. So it will help you to improve.
And what about the limitations to number of questions asked? Is it on a limit?
Yes, so far there's none. So it will be for the Boost clients, this feature, and so far we don't have limit there. So
thank you, Martin. And the last ones, could Copilot for product for its content creation help with keeping the same wording throughout the tours, surveys, hence knowledge base articles?
Yeah, so far I'm not sure I'm not clear about the question, to be honest.
With keeping the same wording through, probably if the Copilot will be able maybe to understand the meaning.
I mean, in the Copilot, I mean the edit part which I showed, you can tell it, for example, change the tone for all questions of the survey. It can do that.
And what about API? Can find the project, for example, can we integrate with API, the AI copilot?
At this moment, no. So at this moment, it's not there yet. So let's see.
Okay.
So
And
thank you, but I believe we will need to move forward a little bit because, and I'm really glad for your questions. And I, encourage everybody, please share more. But here's the thing: I believe that most of you come up to this webinar and says, "Okay, I'm going there for the copilot." But in this moment, I would like to tell you that there's actually much more, and that actually that the main part, which I believe you hear, is this one, which is common, because I believe that everything what I showed you so far, right? You a little bit expected it, right? You come for the copilot, you come for the AI, and I really love those features. But when you recall how I spoke about AI at the beginning, it's like, redefining, it's like electricity, it's like changing everything. I believe that given that we are in the space for like past 6 years and with more than 1,200, paying customers from the companies, uh, we are obligated to do even more, right? Because everything what you saw so far, I believe it will, help you to get to another level, but still incremental improvement. But I believe that after those 6 years and with the AI coming in, if you need to introduce something new, it's not just possible to do it through iteration. It's not possible to do the something like a little bit better than something, right? You need to start from ground up. So that's what we did. Basically, over the past couple of months, we formed a new team, as I mentioned at the beginning, which is purely focused on AI. And because we believe that the AI is so redefining that if we want to introduce something, completely different, and something, if we say, okay, now it's 2025, this is what we have learned. This is how the landscape looks like. This is what AI can do. How we would build digital adoption platform from ground up today, right? And that's basically what we started to do. So we are worked on the completely new product fruits, basically. So it's a very different approach, and it works quite differently. And when I put this presentation together, I just thought, okay, I'll just tease you a little bit, and I'll just show you this slide, and then I'll just leave, and I just say, okay, this is end. But I spoke with Ladja and Karel, our founders, yesterday, and we say, okay, we need to do more, right? We need to give you a little bit more, and just show you a little bit more. So that's when I recorded video yesterday, because it's really early stage, but we just wanted to give you a little bit more than just this sneak preview. We just sent this picture. We just wanted to tell you how we believe the digital adoption will look like this year, and how we can reimagine it, how we think it will look like, right? So that's the reason I play you right now the video. It has a 6 minutes. It's basically me just speaking for 6 minutes. I might pause it, just jump into it, but I would just be keen to learn what do you think about it. I just played with you, I just play it right now, and please share your comments, share your thoughts, share your ideas. What do you think about it? Just let us know, because we believe that this is how the future of digital adoption should look like. And just let me know. So right now I'll try to play the video. I hope it will work, and just let me know if there are any issues. So this is it, and I will just try to I'll just try to play it for you. So I'll just go on a mute now, and just let's speak my past me with you, and just share with you this one.
What motivated you to sign up for Product Fruits?
I actually heard it from a friend. It's good price and they have good support, so I just wanted to discover a little bit and try it out.
It's great to hear that a friend's recommendation brought you here. Exploring new tools based on trusted advice is always a smart move.
So hello and welcome to our future vision of how onboarding will look like. Meet Jess. Jess is actually our AI customer success manager, and let's take her for a spin. So let's get started. We can choose here how we want to interact with Jess. We can talk to her, or we can just message with her and text with her. Let's take her for a spin and talk with her. That can be interesting.
Hello, I'm Jess, your AI assistant. I'm here to understand your needs regarding digital adoption and onboarding. Let's get started by discussing your main challenges. What brought you to sign up for our digital adoption platform?
Actually, just we don't have onboarding at all, and we would like to understand a little bit the users. So we are here also to get her feedback. So, can you help us with that?
Thank you for sharing that. Understanding your users and gathering feedback is crucial. What motivated you to choose Product Fruits for this task?
I actually did some Google research, and it finds out that you have good quality for price, and also you have a good tech support review, and that your AI vision is quite interesting. So I'm here to just look around and see what you can do.
It's great to hear that you found us through research and are curious about what we offer. What would you consider a success in solving your onboarding challenge?
Maybe increasing NPS, so the satisfaction score by 10% or 10 points. That would be good. That would be a good start.
Boosting your NPS and satisfaction score by 10% is a clear and achievable goal. With the right onboarding tools, reaching that target is within your grasp. Thank you for providing all this information. I'll now complete your onboarding process.
Yeah, so actually she was quicker than she thought. So, she created just our kind of onboarding checklist. It was personalized just to me, to our discussion. You can see there is a text, it's dynamically generated, there's dynamically generated tour, there's dynamically generated video, there are additional resources, all generated just for me based on our discussion. So that's one of the use cases, but you can have maybe another one. Imagine that you have, user who is already onboarded, but let's say he's on surveys here and he just don't know how to change the color of survey. So what's happened next is just frustration. So you want to prevent that. So maybe you can ask Jess. So you can go to the Jess and you can just start to chat with her and say, "How, Jess, how can I change color of survey? Please show me." Let's see what she has to say and what she can do for us. As you can see, she's definitely thinking about something. And you have it here. So she actually not only answered our question, but she generated the tour for me just right away, right here. So I can start a guy. I'm in a feedback. Yes, I'm in surveys. And then I can go to the survey. And then she shows me exactly where I need to go. What is important to mention is that those steps which you see in front of you were dynamically generated. Okay, so I didn't create them. I didn't create this card. I didn't create this text. I didn't create those questions. I didn't do that. Just told me, right? So she dynamically generated as I asked her. And I can always follow up here with the question. So I just click on appearance, and apparently in the survey here, you can see survey appearance, primary color right there. And I can always follow up with her. She's always here for me. But it was just dynamically generated. I didn't do anything for it. I didn't do those tours. I didn't create a tour, nothing like that. So how this can be achieved? So it's a little bit different, actually very different than you used to. So it's through our new AI studio. And this is basically Product Fruits 2.0. This is new level, new generation of digital adoption platform. As you can see, it looks very differently than what you used to hear, right? It's very different experience. It's completely different. And in the middle of it is actually Product Fruits Jess logo. That's the Jess. This brain is actually Jess. And you can just feed her with some information from your internal, our Product Fruits knowledge base, or any external source. You can also train her as you would train your new employee and just onboard your new employee to know everything. So you just kind of feed her those informations here to the Jess brain, and then Jess can do magic for you, basically. She can generate in-app experiences. She can basically manifest as this assistant which you just saw. That's this assistant. She can also generate supportive documents right there based on any question you ask. So you just learn, you teach her, she learns, and then she can help you a lot. But you don't have to tell what to do. You just give her knowledge. You just describe your system, your application. You don't have to think about onboarding. You just describe it. You just describe your application. You don't create tours. So how you create, how you get knowledge into her. So you can annotate your application. How you do that is through this option. You just go here. I have this annotation panel, as you can see. And then I have here this annotation menu. And I can simply, click on that and say, okay, I want to annotate this button. And as you can see, the name was automatically generated of this element. The picture was generated, and also the description was generated. So Jess actually analyzed this page already and just give me a suggestion what she thinks this element is. And if you're okay with that, you can leave it like this, or you can just rewrite it, of course. And you can just tap the close and, maybe select another element, which you want Jess to think about. And it can generate, again, picture descriptions, and that's how you annotate the application. That's how Jess teaches and how she learns. But as you can see, what is different is that you don't create tour here. You're just telling her what you know about your application. You're just describing your application. That's it. You don't create tour here. You don't create flows here. You don't create checklist here. You just teach her, basically. You just do it once, and she can do many things for you, as you saw. So that's completely different approach, right? So that's how we think the future. The future is just give her knowledge, just static one, and she can do onboarding for you. So I'm still here. So I hope you liked it, because I believe that we hope that we just observe the future, right? And what you saw, just let me revisit a little bit what you saw here, is that there was just the initial, answer where they just ask some questions. Of course, there's a voice, but doesn't have to be voice. It can be chat, etc. So this is just one of the ways how we can choose to interact with it. Then just basically take those information, generate for you the onboarding checklist, and then if there's ad hoc requirement like support needed, just is also creating for you those tours. Now, what's the biggest difference in this concept is simply that you don't tell Jess, like, you don't create tours, because when you imagine, I don't believe that you use product fruits to create tours, right? You use product fruits to solve your problem, which could be onboarding, increase adoption, find out something from users, like survey. But those are just tools, right? But what we're thinking is that you will describe your problem, you describe your goals, you will describe your application. And then when your end user asks, this AI agent or assistant is generated for them. We choose the name Jess. This is just work in progress name, so please don't take it for granted. This is just really early version, so this is kind of like development name. But this, for example, copy on this card, it's all generated on fly. And what you can imagine that for each user, actually, this tool will look differently. Okay, so this is not pre-programmed tour. So if I will start on this page, this Jess will not generate for me 5-step, just one, right? And it might have even different text if I ask differently. So that's what we feel is a powerful, is that we turning around. We just don't ask you to do onboarding. We ask you, tell us about your product, tell us about what you know, and we will put there some our best practice and embed it to the Jess here, and she will help you with not just onboarding, but with support, with maybe upsell. Imagine that the Jess doesn't have to just respond like this. She can appear here dynamically and just pop up if user, for example, should know something, a little bit like a banner. So this kind of changes the approach from I'm creating onboarding to I'm giving it knowledge, which I believe all of you have about your application, about your problems. And then we will just transform it to something which is useful for you. So this is basically how we think about it, to get you burden off, how I polish the tour, how I polish this, button, how I polish this clickable element, right? The question is it really important, right? Or is it important to make sure that your user will get exactly what you want them to give? So contextual help and the right moment, which is very personalized. And they can, as you can see here, there's input field. You can ask Jess, even in this step, and continue discussion and go to completely different place. Okay. So it's very like dynamic and fluid. So this is how we envision that future, that you go from the really tools and features to your problem and just dynamically adapt to those users. Of course, there'll be some configuration involved, right? You can choose some tones, you can fine tune how the just behaves a little bit. You can change a little bit the main color or maybe avatar if you don't like it, or you don't have to use voice, or even here you can use voice actually. So there's a lot of flexibility. It's very fluid. That's what AI enables. It just enables the many paths to the same goal. So that's kind of how I think it. I hope you like it. I see there's a lot of activity in the chat. Maybe Dana, is there any repeating topic or anything I can elaborate more on? Or
Definitely, Martin. There is plenty of questions regarding NDAs, data protection, actually, how that can be, let's say, sorted because the guys are dealing with proprietary information and this may violate their NDAs, and actually many questions around this compliance.
Yeah.
And
So
yes.
to answer this one, and it's basically it works in a similar technology or same technologies as you saw the AI search and copilot, just in more advanced and backend there. But a lot of it, so your data are still on our servers, including the indexing, which is called embedding in AI world. It lives in our servers. We will use some LLM providers, which we are already using for AI search. What is important to note is one thing. This is not ChatGPT, so this is not have a world knowledge. It only used the knowledge which you gave it. So if you say, I train it on this my application, I give it this external resources, Jess here will know just those. Okay. So, and if you say, so if you don't if you don't teach her that, she will not know that. So that's one note, very important one. Second one, this is we don't use this model doesn't use any data for training. Okay. So it's not like you would use your data to train themselves on it. It's not what's happening, right? So it's really covered. It's on the same level as we have all our services. We will never share any NDA level information. And even what this is nice about this is that even if you would put to the Jazz some article which seems has some personal data, we can warn you, right? We can tell, okay, we detected this PPI data. Like, are you sure you want to share it? Right? So no worry about it. Like, this is the priority, of course, to make sure that there's full transparency where the data lies, what is shared, what is not shared, etc. But it will be configurable, of course. And Jess is not like using just some data which doesn't have access to. You don't instruct her. So that's this one. Is there any other topics there?
I think that maybe this one you already covered now. What about protecting our intellectual property? How is this protected? And this was covered. And what about this one? Does just work and understand segmentation and different environments, different users? Is it going to be really covered, even this topic?
Yes. So it's in the configuration there. So you can configure Jazz, but not just Jazz. We will expand it to give you control, of course, right? So it won't be if you can choose the level how you want to be, of course, involved. You'll be always involved in which data goes where, right? That's must. But then it depends on you how flexible and how you want to steer Jazz. So you can choose to have it more automatic, or for example, you can define my users from this segment needs to know those three things. So for example, I give you example, my users, you can describe them even by normal language or by segmentation as you know it from our platform right now. Those users, and you just then write the checklist, just write like bullet points, what they need to know. So for example, you can say our users need to know within first 2 weeks, they need to create a tour, they need to be familiar of the concept of surveys, and they need to know, how our pricing works. And you can give a guardrails to just like this for the users, and how she achieved that. It's kind of, you can leave it up to her. So she can like make sure that those users which belongs to that segment, they'll always like push them, and maybe in the button, which you can see here in the corner, to Jess here, can proactively pop up and will basically instruct them, hey, like, did you hear about tours? I have created for you content which you can learn more about it. So she will be like helping you to get those users there. So basically you just describe the goals and segments and then just do the work for you. But we think that, creating the kind of hints and tours and how you get there, we can leave it up to Jess, and you can choose on which level you can do it. By the way, Jess will be also able to generate hints as you know it, or banners, if you will. I can go to this slide which I have here. As you can see, Jess can also generate the hints, checklists. She can also be the assistant, just what I described, and she can also generate the article for you. So imagine that she can do more things. It's not just about onboarding this. You can leverage her on many tasks, and in future, of course, even more. Any more questions there, Dana?
Yes, there is a lot of questions also around the training, Jazz. How the training is going to happen when, for example, you have new updated information, how that is going to be predefined. Yeah.
So what you can do is that in a annotation here, it's not there yet, but in the section here in this section, we'll have option that you can search for what was updated. So for example, you can search, okay, hey Jess, it doesn't have to talk to her. You can write to her and say, hey Jess, our tour onboarding changed actually. Users right now cannot create, tour if this and that. And Jess will find relevant annotation which you did and just suggest the changes there. That's how we think about it. It's like, you can tell what change, and because we have this all, it's this, and this what you tell to Jess here, it's also can be indexed, and so she understands this. So you can just ask her, and she'll just pull you information which needs to be properly changed and how. That's how we think about it. And or you also imagine that again, Jess is not just this. It can have multiple personalities. That's what a little bit open your mind is that the configure CSM assistant, as you can see here, imagine that it's not just one. It can be CSM assistant, but it can be also tech support. So you can have one Jazz, which is focused on a little bit upsell, let's say, one focused on onboarding, and one maybe a little bit more tech supporty. So it opens a little bit the boundaries on how you think about this kind of concept.
Also, another question, will Jazz be a separate product or is going to replace product for itself?
No, I think that the Jess will definitely be part of product fruits. Maybe in some different menu item there. And as you can see, even in this in-app experience, if you're not fully ready to transition yet, you can just try her, and you can still be helpful for you. For example, generate your, I would call it a bit older legacy experiences. So it will be basically part of the product fruits, of course, the product fruits family. But it has a little bit different interface because the current one doesn't make sense for her that much. But it will not replace product fruits, but it's kind of like the slow transition to it.
And what about the languages? If you're going to train Jazz in English, is she able to respond in different language?
Yeah, definitely. It's actually part of the Copilot as well. So even if I just right now ask the Copilot, which you saw I demonstrated today, it can handle multiple languages even if you didn't translate it to them. So just definitely can do that as well. And you can, of course, change the tone of the Jazz. You can change the different personality. It can be, man, can be women. That will be configurable, of course. And it doesn't have to name Jazz. And this is just work in progress. So just give it something a little bit more personality, I would say, because to get you close to this concept and how it will work. Any more questions?
And the last, maybe one of the last questions or last, is Jazz also available for end users, like from their interface, actually, if the users can work with the Jazz then?
Like the end your users, like this interface which you see in front of you, no, that's for you. What the end users will see is this basically just this icon there, this Jazz here, and this, that they'll definitely see your users this. So all what you saw through the demo, except of this screen, will be used by end users. But again, how the Jess will look like, there's much more, right? There's much more how she can, manifest itself. This is just beginning. Imagine that it doesn't have to be just the icon there. It can, she can be here as a info icon, right? It's a very fluid concept. So she can be like everywhere. That's our kind of point. So that's how we want to think about it. Also just one note before we will just wrap it up is that, of course, you can just follow us on the LinkedIn as well. So, there should be the post on my LinkedIn here if you want to scan this about what you just saw. So like it, share it if you want. I saw some questions. If you can share it with your colleagues, definitely. We will share the recording as well of all of this, including this just demonstration. There's already a LinkedIn post. Feel free to share it, like it, ask questions there, whatever. But I believe that this is just beginning. I think this is one of the most exciting parts I've been here, and then it feels very transformative. Because I think it opens your mind how you think about how you interact with the Jest itself, but also how you creating stuff. Imagine you don't have to create tour anymore. I think it's a nice feeling, isn't it? Because you don't have to think how to format, text, the copy, picture. It can give you the thing to space to think about core, like what's your problem, what's your mission, and what we need to achieve.